and he knows what it takes to be in charge, involved in this one. So whistle to lips from James Vella. Toulouse and Bradford renew their rivalry in a championship fixture which has been ringed on the calendar for months. Toulouse have first use of the ball, and the anticipation of these two rugby league giants renewing their rivalry has certainly been immense. Toulouse and Bradford, two of the championship's most consistent teams for the last couple of years, rarely disappoint when they meet each other, and already we're seeing Bradford's defence, that line speed, come herring out as we see Callum Garn straight out of dummy half there. That'll be tackle number 4. They're 30 out from their own try line, as there's going to be an early kick on tackle number 4 from Jake Shorrocks. That will bounce down towards Tom Holmes. He'll field it from the 10 to the 20. We'll go through the team news in a moment for those that are joining us a little bit later on West Yorkshire Radio, but those that are joining us at Barnacard Odsel on the live stream, hopefully this one will not disappoint over the course of the next 2.5 hours. So we've had exactly 60 seconds gone here. Bradford in possession, their first use of the ball, and it will be Suter to Lawrence, to Meadows, to Fulton. Over on this main stand side, he's rolled over by Stefani and Marion. Holmes at dummy half. Here's Wonga Blake, wrapped up on what will be Bradford's 5th and last tackle. On halfway now with Meadows. Boot to ball from the former London man. Targets Ollie Asholbot. Asholbot will take that from his own 10-metre line. Wrapped up there by Fulton and Suter. 2 of Bradford's 7 non-UK players this afternoon. And it is Bradford 0, Toulouse 0, early doors here at the Stade Ernest Wallon, as we see Toulouse moving the ball over on the far stand side, and it's a chance now for Toulouse to attack from deep, which they do well. They find themselves just shy of halfway here. Quick play the ball, Joe Cater, one of those former Bradford men, although we will see an early error here from Toulouse, and it will be the young debutant Romeo Tropis, who has big shoes to fill ahead of this one, because he comes in as a late replacement for Ruben Rennie, and that will be a first error, and that will be head and feed to Toulouse Olympique. So scrum, head and feed on halfway. Toulouse were moving the ball there towards this main stand side. It was a lovely break on that far stand side by Paul Marcon. And what can Bradford do here? This is their second spell of possession, of pressure. And look at that there from James Romanos, the Australian, driving, forcing James Meadows back there. And we are going to see Mitch Suter on tackle 2 get to his feet. He'll play the ball. Lawrence there, a lovely short ball to Pele, who starts in place of Eben Skur. They're going to move the ball down this middle channel now with Michael Lawrence, and he is brought down just ever so slightly to the left of centre field. 30 metres out now as we see Bradford move the ball there with Keys to G, the former London, Salford, Lee, Halifax man. Quick play the ball. Keys kicks to touch on the far stand side. That one will just skip between Benjamin Leguer and Paul Marcon, and that will be Toulouse ball 10 metres out from their own try line, and it remains Toulouse 0, Bradford 0. We've had 4 minutes gone on the clock. It is West Yorkshire Radio, back to Odsel on the live stream. Bradford arrive here having not lost in 2025 after those tough physical, emotional games in the Cup against Castleford and Batley. And as we know from previous Toulouse-Bradford games, this will be another typically tight, tense affair with little between the two sides. Certainly no secret, both sides of big, empowering physical packs who like to play on the edge at times, and that controlled aggression important considering the history of the fixture, as Toulouse now are up to halfway with Maxim Stefani, and Stefani is brought down on halfway. Asholbot's in there at dummy half. A sloppy ball along the floor from Asholbot, picked up there by Benjamin Laguerre, and he will play the ball just inside the Bradford half of the field as we see Maxim Stefanik take the ball from Anthony Marion. Marion is brought down 10 inside the Bradford half of the field. It is on that fifth and last tackle as a high hanging kick will target George Tafua, and there's the Rind at play. Tafua lets it bounce. Toulouse looking to score. Asholbot floats the ball, picked off there by Wonga Blake, and Wonga Blake, the right man in the right space at the right time. A second error here from Toulouse, but oh boy, George Tafua, he was like the cat down the alley. He's lost one of those 9 lives, allowing the ball to bounce very, very nearly, costing Bradford dear. 5 gone on the clock. It is Toulouse Olympique 0, Bradford Bulls 0. Bradford so far at 100%. Suter now to Donaldson. To Pele, the 24-year-old Kiwi, plays the ball 5 shy of halfway as James Donaldson has just come up there with Bradford's first error. Little bit sloppy there from James Donaldson, a little bit guilty of overplaying it. So 2 errors from Toulouse, an error from the Bulls, and Toulouse now come on the attack once again. Oh, that's been stolen. 1-on-1 says James Vella by Matty G. So great play there, although James Vella is going to bring play back. He's going to say knock on against Toulouse, I believe is the call. He'll say the knock-on was first there by Toulouse, then Matty G, who stole the ball. Scrum head and feed to Bradford here from the Australian match official. As we said, no stranger to this fixture, James Vella. This will be the 4th time in recent seasons he's been in the middle of this one. His last Bradford game was the 12-all draw with Toulouse in round 14 last year. So Bradford have opted to shift the scrum over on that left-hand side, and it will be Tafua tackle 1, 5 shy of halfway. Garn in defence, also Stefani. Bradford now coming lateral and down the middle as they straighten up here with James Meadows. He's brought down there by Anthony Marion, who leads that charge alongside James Romanus, and it's going to be Bradford up and over halfway here with Michael Lawrence, the 34-year-old, playing the ball 5 inside the Toulouse half of the field as Franklin Pele goes on a tilt, finds the support on the inside here from Holmes. Holmes might create something here with Wonga Blake. Blake's taken 2 Toulouse defenders out of that defensive line, and it is going to be Bradford playing the ball with Wonga Blake 15 out from the Toulouse try line as Meadows now. Donaldson down the middle, wrapped up there by Romanos and Marion. They're on the last tackle, are the Bulls. We've had 8 minutes gone on the clock. 10 away from the Toulouse try line. Meadows to Holmes. Holmes towards the line. He's got through. Ockimbo just couldn't take the ball in. It's a power play move there from the Bradford Bulls, and that will be an error on the last for Brian Noble's Bulls here. As we said, the Stade Ernest Wallon, it's the largest stadium and playing field in the Championship. Brian Noble thinks this is an NRL standard ground and pitch, especially with the good weather conditions that we've had. Certainly a lot drier than what we've seen, those wet, heavy, boggy pitches at Odsal, Hunslet and Batley in recent weeks. And certainly a pitch dry, a fast track, that will certainly favour Bradford's players who have that agility, power and speed, like Wonga Blake, Guy Armitage and Jaden Ockimbo, who've yet to really have the benefit of a playing surface of as big and dry as this impressive stadium. As we said, discipline absolutely vital, high standards, good conduct. This fixture, more than any in the Championship, has had its problems with discipline in recent years, but Bradford doing a good job defensively after those 2 errors. They're on the last tackle, Toulouse, 5 metres shy of halfway as Callum Garn now to Shorrocks, the former Wigan man, against the wind. Ball bounces up kindly for George Tafua. George Tafua, 3 tries already this season. A brace against Hunslet in round 2. And Bradford setting their attacking platform now, 10 shy of halfway, as we see Holmes and Meadows. Guy Armitage, the former Toulouse man, what a moment this is for him. He's brought down 5 inside the Toulouse Olympique, half of the field. Wonga Blake in there in acting half, now to Meadows. Meadows to Donaldson. Donaldson's 5 inside the Toulouse half, wrapped up there by Joe Kay to the former Hull FC man. Keys misses out Pele, finds Meadows. Meadows to G. G punches through a hole, and G has taken Bradford 30 metres out. They are on the 5th and last tackle according to James Vella. So the boot of the ball will come in. The kick will go behind Ollie Asholbot. Toulouse will turn defence into attack from their own try line. And that now will see Toulouse playing the ball 5 metres out from underneath their own post, with Paul Ulberg being grappled and wrestled to the ground there by Lawrence and Pele. So tackle 2 coming up here for Toulouse. They're on their own 20-metre line. We've had 10 minutes gone on the clock here on West Yorkshire Radio. Bulls TV, also the live stream back to the lovely people in the South Bank stand, the South Bank suite at Barricade Hudsall. Hopefully you're enjoying the coverage and the call as the former witness, Salford Huddersfield man, Asholbot plays the ball for Toulouse. 8 metres out from halfway as Toulouse move the ball over on this left-hand edge. And Anthony Marion there feeding the ball to 26-year-old Maxim Stefani, who scored 16 tries for Toulouse last season. They're on the 5th and last tackle. Marion puts boot to ball. Holmes will take it. He's wrapped up 20 metres out from his own try line. Bradford back in possession here. Another set of 6 coming for the Bradford Bulls. And it will be Holmes who plays the ball. Tackle 1. Okinbaugh tackle 2. Souters in there at acting half. Gives the ball to Tafua. Tackle 3. And we've got oohs and ahs from this partisan crowd here as Tafua plays the ball 15 shy of halfway. Bradford now just doing the hard yards forward. Good leg drive there from Michael Lawrence. Tackle 4. Souter looks for a 40-20. Will the wind be kind? It will certainly head towards this main stand touchline. But Asholbot, just like he did in the semi-final last October, he was alert to the danger there. It's another completed set of 6 from the Bradford Bulls. Just the 2 errors in the opening 12 minutes here as Paul Ulberg, a try scorer in the last 4 Toulouse-Bradford games. He will play the ball for Toulouse, who are back in possession. The white-shirted Toulouse Olympique, as the floodlights just start to come on here at the impressive Stade Ernest Wallon. Joe Cater, Anthony Marion, Asholbot. Here's the young French homegrown player on debut, Romeo Tropis. The young 23-year-old gets to his feet. He'll play the ball. Stefani's in there in acting half. Marion now. They're going to come back down the middle channel here. Toulouse are on the last tackle. Beer play the ball. It's going to go back to Shorrocks. He will target Tafua once more. Tafua lets the ball bounce. The wind will take that one over the dead ball line, and that will be a tap on the 20-metre line. A 6 tackle set coming up here for the Bradford Bulls. Well, we've mentioned the weather warning, a severe wind warning here. No Risk Rugby League is the message from both Sylvan Houlis and Brian Noble. And as we said, that will add to the concentration. Well, both coaches know that the windy conditions will drastically influence the kicking game, and certainly penalties to touch, conversions, chances for points. You would have to say that the strength of the wind will certainly also influence those long lateral passes. Both Sylvan and Brian will be reiterating that shorter, punchier passes are maybe preferable in these windy, stormy conditions in the south of France. Tom Holmes is up to the Bradford 40. Here goes Fulton. Wonga Blake's away. Finds Fulton back on the inside. Fulton with a bit of daylight ahead of him. He's going to be brought down there by Asholbot. Toulouse are scrambling back. Bradford going over on the left-hand side with Keys. Keys' pass has been gone to ground, and it'll be Matty G who's come up with the error. According to James Vella, that was a ball and all tackle from James Romanus there. Lovely, lovely footwork from Wonga Blake. We mentioned about this being a drier pitch and how it's certainly, with the good weather conditions this week, how much of an advantage this will be to Wonga Blake, Guy Armitage, Jaden Ockimbo against those heavy, boggy, wet pitches as seen at Hunslet, Batley and Odsall. So 15 gone on the clock here. Bradford very, very nearly opening the scoring here. Coming up with error number 3 of the evening. And just a quick reminder, Friday night, Bradford are already taking 6 coaches to the AJ Bell Stadium. That's the game we will be at next Friday. Or should I say this coming Friday. Salford, currently winless. Bradford could be going to Salford unbeaten. And there's the first penalty of the evening. Matty G has just gone high there on James Romanus. Well, the importance of discipline will not be lost on Brian Noble, Sylvan Hill-Lace. 2 red cards and 14 sin bins in the last 5 meetings between these two. Referee James Vella, he will know how physical and tough these sides play. Very hard, intense, on the edge. As Toulouse now have a great opportunity to trouble the scoreboard. But James Romanus has lost the ball there. The officials say it's gone backwards. Ashall Butt recovers possession for Toulouse. Garn out a dummy half. Now to Cater. To Butler, the former London Lee Wakefield man. He had a loan spell similar to Joe Cater at the Bulls back in 2023. As Toulouse moving on the far stand side now with Ashall Butt. And the 27-year-old, been at Toulouse since 2022, will play the ball 10 metres in from touch, 10 away from the Bradford post, as we see Anthony Marion drop the ball off to back row forward. Joe Cater, the former Lee Hull FC man, will play the ball on the last tackle. Garn now to Shorrocks. They're going on the power play. Paul Markon into the in-goal area. Good kick chase pressure. Tom Holmes alert to that danger there. He will pat the ball dead over the dead ball line, and it is the first repeat set that either side have forced via the boot of the ball this evening. And certainly it's very difficult to gauge who is actually having the benefit of this wind here. It's certainly swirling in this Stade Ernest Wallon Stadium, and you know, when you just look at that in an intellectual sense, who's playing into the wind first, you can certainly tell and learn how the other team is using that wind, and you can also learn from their tactics and then use them in the second half based on what worked and what didn't work. But you can't really tell because the wind is just coming down and swirling. But Toulouse now looking to open the scoring, and they will open the scoring. Anthony Marion's pass will see the debutant over the Bradford line, but James Vella is going to disallow the try to young Romeo Troppis. And Troppis, who's come in for Ruben Rennie, he has seen a try on debut disallowed by the officials. They're going to say that was forward. And we've just mentioned there about those short, punchy passes that might be preferable. They will be preferable this evening because of the wind. 49 mile per hour gusts of wind currently sweeping across the stadium, and the wind certainly took that ball forward. So, try disallowed, it remains scoreless. Bradford back in possession here. They will play the ball 25 out from their own try line with Wonga Blake, Ronan Michael, who's just come on the field off the interchange bench, adding a bit of energy to Bradford's cause as Donaldson now finds Keys. Keys over on that left-hand side to G. Manny G steps back on the inside, and Manny G still going. Big block-busting run there from the former Halifax Panthers man. Up to halfway. Bradford back down the middle here with Michael Lawrence on the last tackle. 0-0. 20 minutes gone in this game. It's absolutely flown by as Meadows puts pressure there. Was he taken out by Joe Cater? The officials say no, we play on here. And as we said, Sylvan Houlays and Toulouse this afternoon looking to avoid history. They've never lost 2 consecutive home games at home in the championship. They lost here 3 weeks ago to Widnes in round 1. So Bradford can inflict history or make history as Manny G has gone high now for the second time this evening. And James Vella just having a word now with Manny G as the referee just saying that Manny G went a little bit too high there on Paul Marcon over on that far stand side. Well, it is Mick the Game Caller Gledhill going out as usual on West Yorkshire Radio, also going out on Bulls TV, brought to you by First Buses. Bradford now backed up on their own 20, Toulouse 30 metres out, looking for the opening points of this one. It is certainly intense and fierce and fiery out there on the field. 25 out now. Garn in there at dummy half. Romanos plays the ball. Cater to Shorrocks through a gap, and they will open the scoring. Will Toulouse Olympique? It's come after that penalty that was conceded by Manny G, and it will be Mathieu Jassami. He is one of the 8 French players in this Toulouse team this evening, and the 25-year-old French international. He is one of those homegrown players for Toulouse. He has got his first try of the season, and it's Toulouse who take the lead here at the Stade Ernest Wallon. We've had exactly 22 minutes gone on the clock. A big crowd in attendance here. Great play from Shorrocks. Mathieu Jassami, he has crossed to the right-hand side of the post here. The Bradford fans making themselves heard with the war cry going up and around this impressive stadium. But Mathieu Jassami, he has opened the try scoring here for Toulouse. Jake Shorrocks, he was 1 from 1 against York at the LNER Stadium a fortnight ago. The kick predictor, normally it'd be at 100%, but the kick predictor's saying 82% because of the wind. But Jake Shorrocks makes no mistake. Toulouse's marksman adds the extra 2. And here at the Stade Ernest Wallon, Saturday evening rugby league, Toulouse Olympique 6, Bradford Bulls 0. We've got 17 minutes to go to half time on West Yorkshire Radio. West Yorkshire Rugby League also going back to the UK on the live stream. Well, the last couple of years, Bradford Toulouse have played each other a number of times. These fixtures rarely disappoint when they meet each other. We might just be going the distance this afternoon into the evening here in the pink city of Toulouse, but it is Sylvan Houlays' side who have opened the scoring, and back now down the middle they'll go with James Romanos, who is brought down 25 metres out from his own try line. Callum Garn to Cater. Here goes Rob Butler. He played in the 2023 grand final win here for London against Toulouse. Now a Toulouse player. And there's a few warning signs here for Bradford, although that will help them. Callum Garn, once again, has gone a little bit long with the ball. It's caught the wind and it's gone forward. So Bradford will have an opportunity with possession here. Toulouse making their 5th error in this first half. We've got 16 to go to half-time. And we did mention about going shorter, punchier passes. We're not going to see much open play kicking. It's 49 miles per hour this wind, this storm that's arriving here. So that really does remove the option of kicking. Certainly kicking from any position on the field, with both coaches highlighting sensible no-risk rugby league. But Bradford, they've got an opportunity now. And they're 10 away with Ronan Michael now to Keys. Donaldson back on the inside to the support in Mitch Suter. Couple of tackles remaining here for Bradford. Ockenbaugh and Blake calling for it on this main stand side. They go down the middle here with Ronan Michael. Good defence from Callan Garn and Anthony Marion. A tackle remaining here as Suter floats the ball to Holmes. Holmes' ball has come off the hands and rolled backwards, say the officials. So the former Toulouseman, Guy Armitage, will play on here. He's lost the scrum cap. He'll play the ball on the last. Keys now to Meadows. Meadows crossfield kick, looking for Ockenbaugh. Ockenbaugh takes it in the field of play, turns, kicks towards the in-goal area. Ashel Bott will just nurse that one over the dead ball line. It is a completed set of 6 for Bradford. Just the 3 errors from them, but there was no real kick chase pressure there from the Bradford Bulls. And here come Toulouse Olympique now as Jaden Ockenbaugh tries to force the youngster Romeo Troppis over the touchline, but he just put the handbrake on. And here goes Maxime Stefani, a regular try scorer for Toulouse Olympique. He's brought down 5 shy of halfway here. Well, they met 3 times last season. Bradford 19, Toulouse 12 at Hudsall. 12 points apiece in the regular season here. And in that playoff game, Toulouse 21, Bradford 20. Jake Shorrocks now moving the ball along the line. So Ashol Bott to Marcon. Paul Marcon saying he was taken out off the ball. The officials play on with Benjamin Leguer brought down over on the far stand side. He gets to his feet. Quick play the ball. Shorrocks tries to go past G and Suter. He's wrapped up. 18 away now from that Bradford try line. Cater to Marion. Bully it past to Holberg. Well, Sylvan Ules, who's just sat a few metres or so to the left of our commentary position here, he is absolutely furious that Toulouse are trying those long lateral passes. Spoke to Sylvan at kickoff and he echoed what Brian had said about no risk rugby league. Certainly when you mention the passing game, the wind will push the ball towards the receiver, so the players have to align deeper, if that is making sense for those that are watching and listening. And certainly the passes have to be flatted out in front of the player running onto it. We're not seeing that accurate ball from Toulouse. It's blowing it forward in this first half. Bradford looking to capitalise and build some pressure themselves after Toulouse's 6th error here. If you're just joining us, 27 gone. Bradford just outside of their own 20-metre line here with Zach Fulton. Matthew Jusame opening the scoring, converted by Shorrocks after 22 minutes. A scoreless first quarter. Keys wrapped up there by the Toulouse try scorer. Bradford have lost ground. 15 out from their own line here. A phenomenal defensive effort here from the Toulouse Olympic side. That ball, that kick from Meadows on the last has caught the wind. So that now will see the youngster Troppis on his championship debut for Toulouse get to his feet. He'll play the ball. Toulouse come back down the middle here, and if they can add to that earlier score, Bradford might just be in a little bit of trouble. Joe Cater wrapped up there by Suter and Lawrence. Michael comes in there and just smothers with the wrap. Out of dummy half to Ashol Bott. Jusame wrapped up there by G. They're over on the far stand side, 5 away from the Bradford line. Shorrocks along the line to Marion. Marion bullet pass there. That was punchy into Maxim Stefani's grasp. And they're on the last tackle, 10 metres out, left-hand side of the post. Garn to Marion. Marion, a deft little grubber kick into the in-goal area. Holmes grounds it under that excellent kick chase pressure there of those Toulouse back row forwards. One of those, Ellis Gillam, the former Whitehaven Barrow man. And that is the second goal line dropout that Toulouse have forced the Bradford Bulls to concede in this first half here at the Stade Ernest Wallon. 10.5 to go here. Bulls TV, West Yorkshire Radio. Against the wind again. It's only gone up to the 30. Shorrocks takes it. They'll come back down the middle here with Benjamin Leguer. That try at York, absolutely crucial. His 5th season for Toulouse. And Toulouse now inside Bradford's 20-metre line once more. Toulouse 6, Bradford 0 here. Garn, Cater, Shorrocks to Ashol Bott. Out wide towards the corner. And Benjamin Leguer, just like he did in that round 2 fixture against York, he will get try number 2 of the season. It's his 5th season at Toulouse. He, on 30 appearances, now has his 16th try for Toulouse. A prolific try scorer. That will not please Brian Noble and Lee Greenwood. Toulouse building pressure. All that momentum there is Bradford's unbeaten record under threat here in the south of France. It certainly is on what we've seen in this first half showing. Great play, great work there from the spine. Ashol Bott there with that try assist. He missed out. Paul Marcon, he went straight to his winger, Benjamin Leguer. And it is Ben Leguer, just like he did in that playoff win here for Toulouse back in October. 5 months later, he's found the line against the Bulls again. It's right on that far stand touchline. Shorrocks against the kick predictor. 17% it's saying here. This to add a crucial 2 points. Shorrocks across the face of the post. The wind has taken that one wide. And with 9 minutes to go here, it remains Toulouse Olympique 10, Bradford Bulls 0. Well, Brian Noble, he will not be happy with Bradford's defending, but he might take a little bit of comfort that Bradford will have the wind if it remains here. So West Yorkshire Radio, Bulls TV, live streaming the game back to England across the channel. Toulouse Olympique 10, Bradford Bulls 0. What can the Bulls do here? Because Brian Noble has brought on Sam Hallas and Logan Bayliss. So that will add a little bit of freshness and energy. James Vella urging Bradford to go back the 10 there. The last thing Bradford want to do is concede a penalty from this position. It's been a good defensive set thus far. Toulouse 25 out. As we see Anthony Marion once again. Maxim Stefani takes the tackle under pressure there from both James Meadows and Suter. Here goes Paul Marcon. Kicks ahead for Ben Leguer. Leguer runs onto this, regathers, passes the ball to Ashol Bott. Ashol Bott keeps the ball going. Meadows tries to get there. Troppis has got it. Troppis back to Marion. Marion, loop ball to Stefani. Stefani! Okimbo says no. Last grass defence there from Jaden Okimbo and the Bradford Bulls. And James Vella says that will be a play the ball on the 10. Absolutely try-saving defence there from Wonga Blake and Jaden Okimbo. Phenomenal inventive play from Toulouse. Last tackle, Stefani plays it. They're going to run it in at the corner with Ulberg, but Ulberg steps back in field. Grubber kick behind the line. Jordan Lilly, who's just come on the field for Bradford, he watches that one, and it will be a crucial 6-tackle set. Well, you've got to say here, based on what we've just seen there, that could potentially have huge implications for Bradford come the 80th minute, because if Paul Ulberg crosses for the 5th time in 5 games, that is 14-0 to Toulouse, and now George Tafua has won a penalty here for the Bradford Bulls after Toulouse were holding the former Manlick Sea Eagleman down, and you can just see there Joe Keys finding touch against the wind. It only went 10 metres forward. So 3 penalties to 1. Bradford's first penalty of the evening, and we have 6 minutes to go to half-time here at the Stade Ernest Wallon. What can Bradford do here? Hallis is playing the ball 30 out. Now it's going to go to Meadows, to G. G's brought down 18 out, just to the left-hand side of the Toulouse post. Back across the face they go with Keys. Running from Keys to Meadows, to Lilly, to Blake. Blake has Okinbaugh outside him, finds him on the inside. Asholbot went high there, and Okinbaugh, that was above the shoulder blades, missed by the officials, but Bradford now are coming down the central reservation here with the former Leeds man Sam Hallis. He is brought down on the last 5 metres out. Bradford have had very little ball down here. Meadows runs it to G. G on the power play to Loose. Wrap up. Matty G there. And Bradford will surrender possession 5 metres out from the Toulouse try line. West Yorkshire Radio Bulls TV here. Oh, this one's bubbling nicely in the south of France. As we said, it is a dry, fast track here. We mentioned about Okinbaugh, Armitage and Blake. Well, Paul Ulberg, Benjamin Leguer, Ollie Asholbot, they'll certainly enjoy those home comforts. Bradford down by 10, heading towards half-time here. Chances few and far between for both the Bulls and Toulouse Olympique here. Out of dummy half goes Callum Garn, snipes and runs into Meadows, Bayliss and Suter. They're on tackle number 4 here, Toulouse. Marion to Shorrocks. Shorrocks kicks early on tackle 4 with the wind at his back. That one goes nearly 80 metres there, so Tafua has to track back. He will be brought down on his own 20-metre line. Those 3 white-shirted Toulouse defenders. Anthony Marion, one of those, as we see Joe Berreton come on the field here for his first involvement as we head towards half-time. Oh, it's tight, it's tense. An absolutely humdinger from the Championship, this one. Bradford certainly having to roll the sleeves up for hard-earned points here as we see Suter out of dummy half, now towards Bayliss. Bayliss, the former North Queensland, Brisbane man's brought down 5 shy of halfway, centre field. It's going to go to Meadows on this right-hand edge to Blake. Blake has had the ball stolen on a one-on-one challenge here from Romeo Troppis, and James Vella says Troppis has come up with the error. That will be scrum head and feed to Bradford, 40 metres out from the Toulouse try line, and Bradford probably at the end of this first half, this will probably be their last opportunity to trouble the Toulouse scoreboard. I don't think Brian Noble will be too concerned. Bradford will have the wind behind them in the second half, but as we said, very, very difficult to gauge where the wind has gone in this first half. So 40 metres out centre field, Suter, Keys to Armitage, who broke the Bradford Bulls' hearts and souls with a try in that 21-20 playoff defeat last October. Hallis, tackle 2, left to centre field. Out of dummy half from the Australian Mitch Suter. 2 tries last week against Batley. He's carried Bradford 15 out centre field. We've got 90 seconds remaining here. Bradford down by 10. Keys to Armitage. Armitage twisting, turning. Brought down there by Breverton. Also involved in that tackle there was Cater. Toulouse have a little bit short on this right-hand edge, and that's where Bradford go. It's Fulton to Lilly. Lilly to the in-goal area. Just too much on the kick from Jordan Lilly. Wonga Blake going incredibly close there. Just a little bit too much on the power bar by Jordan Lilly. And it will be Bradford back in possession. Toulouse back in possession. And with 60 seconds remaining, they will close out this first half. So, penalty count 3-1 in favour of Toulouse. As Toulouse now moving over on the right-hand edge. Someone's been taken out late. Penalty goes the way of Toulouse. Bradford in trouble. Although the officials, well, James Vella, it looked like James Vella was the referee, was going to say penalty to Toulouse, but he's saying the contact was legal and fair, firm and fair, and Bradford now have an opportunity after an 8th error in this first half from Toulouse. Once again, not for the first time, you know, Toulouse risky stuff, a long lateral pass there into the wind. That has promoted the ball forward. High risk if it comes off. Bradford are going to form the scrum and call time off here with 20 seconds to go. Paul Marcon gets to his feet. He's good to go. And as we said, they met 3 times last season. Bradford's only win on French soil was back in 2019, 6 years ago, when Bradford, against all the odds and the heat, beat Toulouse 26-24. Hallis, Keys, Lilly, the only remnants from that side, as we see Logan Bayliss just having a little bit of a set two here at the scrum. Referee James Vella comes in, diffuses that one. Time back on, 20 to go. Bradford kick early here with Lilly. Wonga Blake has run into the back of Romeo Troppis, gone down. Officials won't be kidded. And Paul Ulberg recovers possession from deep. 10 out from his own try line. And that will see the hooter imminent. Will Paul Ulberg get to his feet? Will he be allowed to play the ball? Hooter sounds to show and steer the game with their physical dominance. I can't see anything other than an away win for Bradford and Bryant. But Toulouse, they have kicked off right at the start of this second half and got the ball back. They kicked it into the wind, and because the wind is so fierce and Bradford do have that advantage of the wind in the second half, the ball went 15 metres and then went back towards the halfway line, and Toulouse have an early chance right at the start of this second half, and it's going to be Anthony Marion who is palming the ball over on that left hand side, and once again Toulouse have forced the ball. Well, the commentary notes here blowing away. We've lost the team sheet, so luckily for people watching this on the stream and on the commentary on the radio, I think you'll know I'm a bit of a championship veteran when it comes to broadcasting as a broadcast journalist, and we'll certainly be able to do our best to identify who is who as Guy Armitage plays the ball for Bradford over on that centre field. They're on halfway now here at Bradford with Ronan Michael. He'll get to his feet, he'll play the ball. Souter now towards Keys, Keys to G. G's going to be brought down 8 inside the Toulouse half of the field, so we've seen an error apiece right at the start of this second half, as Bradford now have come up with error number 2. Souter to Logan Bayliss. He's not able to hold possession, and that is 2 quick errors in quick succession there by the Bradford Bulls, and that now will see Toulouse have head and feed at this scrum, 10 shy of halfway. Well, certainly Toulouse know there are better teams equipped than Toulouse to manage their way through tough games in the Championship. Just look at their last outing and that 7-6 win over York on the hooter. That game, management proved valuable in the past for them here at home, as James Vella will help Toulouse's cause here with a penalty for Bradford being offside. So 4 penalties to 1 in favour of Toulouse Olympique. And they now will look to come on the attack. 30 metres out from that Bradford try line. Bradford just need to work hard at sticking to those good principles that have seen Bradford pick up those 2 Super League scalps against Huddersfield and Castleford, and now Toulouse have lost the ball, but that has come off a Bradford hand according to the officials. Asholbot recovers possession here for Toulouse Olympique, and that is back to 1 on the tackle count, says James Vella. Joe Breverton juggling with the ball there, trying to go past Hallis and Bayliss and Keys. So 3 quick fire errors here from the Bulls. Very, very flat start to the second half as Toulouse go through a gap here with Ellis Gillum, the season championship forward, 10 metres out underneath the post. Callum Garn now to Marion. Marion looks for support, there's no one there, 5 metres out. Toulouse looking for the 3rd try right at the start of this second half as Joe Breverton towards the line. He's twisted, turning, and he is forced short there by Ronan Michael, the Ireland international. Tackle number 4, 1 to go here for the Frenchman as it goes from Shorrocks to Asholbot. Asholbot towards Ben Laguerre, and Ben Laguerre squeezes in past his former teammate Guy Armitage, and that is just what Sylvain Houllier and Toulouse would have wanted, would have spoken about right at the start of this game, right at the start of this second half. 10-0 quickly turns into 14-0. Oh, it's going from bad to worse for Brian Noble's Bradford Bulls. Just 1 win on French soil in their last 8 visits. Looking for their first win here at the Stade Ernest Wallon. And Benjamin Laguerre, he juggled momentarily with that ball from Asholbot. It was a lovely bullet pass from the former Widnes and Huddersfield man. And Jake Shorrocks, another tricky assignment from him. Bradford will now have to come from behind and chase this game. They'll have to still play with that patience, that calmness, that composed attitude. There's still a long way to go in this one. 36 minutes. They just have to believe, and that mental focus will almost certainly come into play as Shorrocks once again wide with the conversion. Very, very difficult for Jake Shorrocks there. Once again, if you're just joining us, 2 changes made by Brian Noble. George Tafua for Kieran Gill, Sam Hallis for Eben Skur, who picked up a knock ahead of kick-off here, and 2 changes for Sylvain Houllier and Toulouse. Young Romeo Tropics coming in for Ruben Rennie, and it's Thomas Lacans on the bench for Greg Richards. West Yorkshire Radio, Bulls TV. Toulouse 14, Bradford 0. 5 minutes gone right at the start of this second half. Bradford will not give up the goals. There'll be a lot of communication from Brian Noble and Lee Greenwood about that composure, that mental focus, as Anthony Marion now on the restart. Toulouse 12 metres shy of halfway. Maxime Stefani will get to his feet. The French international finds Asholbot. He's been here at Toulouse since 22, his 4th season. And they're on the last tackle after points here, Toulouse. So Shorrocks boot to ball, put under pressure there by G, Michael and Suter. Tafua takes that one. 10 away from his own line. Good kick chase pressure there from Toulouse on that last tackle. Bradford back in possession here, and it will be Lily out of dummy half to Jaden Okinbaugh. Well, we've not seen that creative spark yet from Meadows and Keys. Fulton over on that right-hand edge. We've got 33 minutes left, 33 minutes for Bradford to try and get themselves back in this game. Toulouse, all the momentum and ascendancy with them right at the start of this second half. Here goes Sam Hallis, good meters made there. Real workhorse. But Bradford on the last tackle, and they're just shy of halfway. Suter to Keys. Keys, boot to ball. 3 Toulouse defenders putting pressure under Joe Keys. Ashelbot takes that one with great composure on the full before he's smothered and wrapped up there by Logan Bayliss and Ronan Michael. Ashelbot plays the ball on the Toulouse 30. Try scorer, a brace, 1 in each half. Ben Laguerre, the 23-year-old. He's now 3 tries in 3 games for Sylvan Houlis' side. Paul Ulberg comes in from the wing, plays the ball. Here goes Cater. Had that 1-game loan spell for Bradford back in 2021 when Bradford had an away result, an away win against Oldham. Tackle 4 here. Shorrocks to Ashelbot. Keys, G, Suter. Wrapping Ashelbot up. It is the last tackle for Toulouse. Toulouse 14, Bradford 0. They're going to run it on the power play. The kick comes in from Matthew Jusame. An audacious pass back on the inside. What a pass! Back on the inside to Paul Marcon. The officials will check it. They'll clear it. They'll say it's gone backwards. And that has just come from out of nowhere. Spectacular, inventive rugby league from Toulouse. Sylvan Houlis' side. They've got that incredible understanding of how to apply pressure and then back that pressure up and then come up with something magical. And I'm sure that one will be on the highlights reel for years to come. The ball appeared to be heading towards touch. Matthew Juswami, he chased it up. He backed it up with an audacious pass back on the inside. And Paul Marcon has gone over for a fourth uncontested score here from Toulouse Olympique. We've had 10 minutes gone right at the start of this game. This scoreline, unbelievable. Some may have had Bradford favourites going into this one. But it's 18-0. Is the Toulouse Hoodoo about to continue? Kick predictor says 71% for Shorrocks. Shorrocks conversion just creeps in. And Bradford, they trail by 4 clear scores. We have exactly 30 minutes to go. Toulouse 20, Bradford 0. That does not roll easy off the tongue. Bulls TV, the live stream back to Barnacard Odsal. Also West Yorkshire Radio. Saturday evening, Rugby League in the south of France. You've got to say Bradford, that first quarter where it was 20 points to 0, they've never really been in this game. And as we said, Tom Holmes had to leave the field with an injury. We've not seen Tom Holmes come back on the field, so Lilly is now having to drop to fullback. Out of dummy half here from Toulouse on the restart. They're looking for more points here. Armitage comes across and James Vellett says that's the 5th and last. Out of dummy half from Marcon to Shorrocks against the wind. That just catches the wind and holds firm. Bounce of the ball's good for Toulouse. They've got possession here, Toulouse. Ball comes back. Ashelbot has it. Now to Anthony Marion. Back to Ashelbot. Ball heads towards touch. It goes into touch. And Bradford have a rare opportunity here to try and generate something from the halfway line. Bradford have been a shadow of themselves from those opening 5 competitive games. Toulouse Olympique 20, Bradford Bulls 0. Remains to be seen if Tom Holmes will come back on the field. Bradford operating certainly at this stage of the game with a limited interchange bench, but that's certainly no excuse, and Brian Noble will not use that as an excuse. What can Bradford do here? They need a score quick and fast, one feels. Suter to Meadows. Blake. The Fijian internationals brought down, and now Suter's gone without the ball, and that's gone forward. And I think that just sums up Bradford's play in this game. 25 metres out after a strong carry from Wonga Blake on that right-hand edge. Mitch Suter goes without the ball. Bradford, that's their 8th error now in this one. Their 5th of the second half. Very, very grim reading for Brian Noble, it must be said. Bradford at less than 50% completion rate in this second half, and it's certainly showing. Toulouse Olympique 20, Bradford Bulls 0. This is not what those 400-500 travelling Bradford supporters would have expected, and the hundreds watching in the South Bank. You're almost coming towards that point in the game now, as we've got 26 minutes left to go, where it's starting to be all about playing for pride and building something ahead of that trip to the AJ Bell Stadium in Salford next week. Bradford's unbeaten record on the line here. Toulouse on halfway. Across it will go to Cater. Joe Cater, one of those rare players who played for both the Black and Whites, the Early Birds and the Robins, the Red and Whites. And Toulouse are on the last tackle, 5 inside the Bradford half of the field here. They're going to run it on the power play, and here goes Anthony Marion. Asholbot in support. Asholbot out to Paul Marcon. Ben Leguer has the hat-trick, and that is exquisite, superb rugby league football from Toulouse Olympique. And that's the moment you feel where Toulouse Olympique are going to end Bradford's unbeaten start to the season. Ben Leguer, the 23-year-old, absolutely cutting the Bulls to shreds, but make no mistake, that was all about Anthony Marion and that experience. The 31-year-old, his 10th season here at Toulouse. A try in both semi-final defeats against Bradford in 23 and 22. He went through an alarming gap in the middle of the field, found the support of Asholbot, who we highlighted in the pre-match amble. You can't allow Asholbot space and room, and it was another try assist from Asholbot. Far, far too easy for Toulouse to cut the Bulls open. I don't think many had this score, but it is 24 points to 0. Another try for Toulouse right in this main stand corner. And Brian Noble and Lee Greenwood, they've seen enough. They've gone straight down to the touchline here. And they're immediately going to bring on Michael Lawrence. Well, is this a rude awakening for Bradford? Because you've got to say, this has been abysmal. Jake Shorrocks into the wind, and that one will just drop short. If ever there was video footage to show you how fierce this wind is in the south of France, it was that conversion attempt there from Jake Shorrocks. He goes out to 2 from 5. West Yorkshire Radio, Bulls TV, brought to you by First. Joe Keys back underway, long and deep. Bradford have got a goal line dropout. Very, very deep in goals here. And is this the start of a Bradford fight back? I've just described the first 56 minutes as bordering on abysmal. Now Bradford have a chance. Is this a way back? Toulouse, they'll go short with the dropout. James Vella says it's gone 10. Bradford let the ball bounce. They recover possession with James Meadows. And now Bradford, have they got an opportunity, something to build on here? Out of dummy half from Keys to Lawrence, who's just come on the field. His influence will take a few sets to bed in the Bradford players. It doesn't happen straight away. Joe Keys drops the shoulder. We've not seen much from attack from the Bulls in this game at all. They're down by 24 points to nil. They have to score quickly. As we head towards the hour mark here, Ronan Michael 15 metres out, Hallas to Keys. Keys has gone without the ball. He had Joe Breverton and Jake Shorrocks putting that line speed out of the defence. That is error number 9, and that error very uncharacteristic there from Joe Keys. That has just seen the pressure cooker evaporate into the evening sky here in Toulouse. Well, the wind is having a very profound impact on proceedings this evening, but there's no excuse. Even against 49 mile per hour gusts, Joe Keys, with very little pressure, has dropped the ball there. Well, Bradford, just when you think they've got an opportunity, the ball goes to ground again. Well, Paul Ulberg, he's done exceptionally well there as James Meadows, because on tackle 1, after that error from Joe Keys, Paul Ulberg has been forced to not get up and play the ball correctly. Scrum, head and feed here to the Bradford Bulls. We've got 21.5 minutes left here on Bulls TV. Streaming back to the South Bank in the UK. Meadows, Lilly. Penalty. Meadows taken out off the ball. Bradford's second penalty of the game. It's come very, very early on this set of 6. They're not going to go to 2. They trail by 24. They're going to tap it with Hallas to Lawrence. Tackle 1. 14 metres out. Underneath the Toulouse post. Bradford need a score here. Time and urgency as Bayliss carries Bradford. 5 metres out, tackle 2. Short ball to G, looking for try number 3. Held up over the line. We go back to the 10. And we have exactly 20 minutes remaining here. Toulouse Olympique 24, Bradford Bulls 0. Ben Laguerre with that hat-trick. What can Joe Keys do here? Takes the line on. The posts are shaking with the gale force winds here at the Stade Ernest Wallon. Hallas to Meadows to Blake. Blake immediately wrapped up there by Ulberg, and Bradford on the 5th and last tackle. 20 minutes left for a Bradford comeback. They're on the last. Meadows looks for Rockinbaugh. Toulouse will go into touch on the far stand side. We're seeing a little bit of fight here from Bradford. It might be a little too late, but they're certainly not going to go down waving the white flag here. There's still 19.5 minutes to go. Look at Matty G there. He's calling the Bradford players over to stop the clock, but it isn't a scrum. James Vella's saying it will be a play the ball. Great defence there from Jaden Rockinbaugh and Zach Fulton. Bradford then another set of 6 here. That's Toulouse's 11th error in this game. Toulouse have given Bradford opportunities. Can Bradford capitalise? Hallas, dummy half to Keys. Along the line to Meadows. Meadows to Fulton. 30 appearances, 14 tries last season. Yet to score. Michael. Ronan Michael taking 4 Toulouse defenders with him. There's gaps appearing on this left-hand side. They go right. And look at that line speed defence from Anthony Marion, wrapping up Meadows. Gets a quick play of the ball in. They go the short side here with Blake. And Blake's wrapped up now. The posts continue to shake in the wind. Last tackle. Toulouse 24, Bradford 0, 18 to go. Very flat performance thus far. Meadows, Keys, Lilly, boot to ball, Armitage. Oh, he just gets there. Does Ben Laguerre ahead of his former teammate. A second goal line dropout that has been forced by the Bradford Bulls. Franklin Pelly and James Donaldson about to come on the field for Ronan Michael and Logan Bayliss. We have not seen Tom Holmes return following that injury. So Bradford having to do it tough with a bit of adversity on that interchange bench. Lilly deals with that short goal line dropout, and Bradford once again, they're building a bit of pressure and momentum at the Toulouse end of the field. Franklin Pelly's come on, a lot of energy, a lot of enthusiasm. 15 metres out here, the Kiwi plays the ball. Here goes Keys, Bradford showing urgency. Meadows to Okimbo. Okimbo crosses in at the corner. 17 to go. Jaden Okimbo on his 4th appearance of the season. The former Canterbury Bulldog man, as he started what would be a remarkable biblical comeback by the Bradford Bulls. Toulouse Olympique 24, Bradford Bulls 4. The kick to come against the wind, right over on that far stand side. Jordan Lilly has the ball in his possession. He is nursing that like he's found a £20 note blowing along the pier on Blackpool seafront. Lilly, 137 successes from 171 last season. He was 5 from 8 against Hunslet. He's 10 from 15 for the season. Kick predictors only saying 4%. They're not giving Jordan Lilly any chance whatsoever here. We're in the 63rd minute here at the Stade Ernest Wallon. Are we about to see something absolutely spectacular? It's a start from the Bulls. James Vella stops the clock. Balls come off the kicking tee. Lovely cut-out ball to Okimbo, who just went over in at the corner. Powerful, pacey winger. Well, here we go. Sam Hallis, ball on hand, I do believe. Or should I say hand on ball. Lilly from the touchline. That one has waved away. The gap is down to 20. There's still a lot of pressure on this Bradford Bulls team. 24 points to 4. Toulouse. More ball, more possession, more opportunities. Great execution from the Toulouse spine. That has been the difference thus far. We've got 16 minutes to go. West Yorkshire Radio, Bulls TV, also streaming back to the South Bank in West Yorkshire. Temperature now saying 13 degrees, so it has dropped quite considerably from the 22 degrees it was, as Toulouse goes short against the wind, and for the second time they've got the ball. It's Joe Berreton who has it for Toulouse, the former Wigan man. He'll play the ball 30 metres out, centre field. Thomas Lecans warming up as well. As we just seen, Baptiste Rodriguez made his Toulouse debut last year with a win against the Sheffield Eagles. He's just come on for Callum Garn. And you almost suspect here a 6th try for Toulouse, because the 15 out in front of the Bradford post, that might be all she wrote. Kick through from Shorrocks to Asholbot, and that will decide this one. Ollie Asholbot, his 2nd try of the season. The former Widnes youngster. We've just mentioned about Toulouse. More ball, more possession, more opportunities. Great execution there. Shorrocks rolling back the years to his Wigan days. And that will be all she wrote here in the south of France. 14 minutes to go in this one. There might be a bit of fallout from this one from Brian Noble and Lee Greenwood. Certainly, Bradford have not been at their best this afternoon. Far from it. No Tom Holmes, remember, after he looked to pick up a shoulder injury. And I think that says it all for mine. Some Bradford supporters right in front of our commentary position, deciding to watch this one from the main stand. They're just saying, well, at least we've not been scoreless. This is a huge result for Toulouse Olympique and Sylvan Houlets as Jake Shorrocks adds on the extra 2. 6 tries to 1, and it's now 30 points to 4 here after Ashol Bott. He was the man, the moment, that inside support, chasing up the kick from Jake Shorrocks. Nobody at home for Bradford. And that will be alarming for Brian Noble. Bradford goes short here. High, swirling ball, out on the full. Well, Bradford have hit the self-destruct button here. Well, there's a lot of disgruntled Bradford fans in this big crowd here. There'll be a lot of soul searching. Bradford's pride clearly dented, and then some this afternoon. Well, it's 7:25 here in the south of France as day turns to evening. We mentioned Thomas Lecans has just come on, and here he is. The 24-year-old Frenchman, 2 seasons at Featherstone, and Toulouse could really go for the jugular here. This has been a flat, disjointed, disappointing performance here by the Bradford Bulls. Toulouse, a very tough place to go. Does this kind of dampen those raised expectations after Bradford arrived here unbeaten? Ashol Bott now to mark on, 5 away from the line. On the last tackle, Toulouse Olympique looking to go back to back. Toulouse 30, Bradford 4. Shorrocks. Oh, big collision there. Penalty, says James Vella. Tafua has gone in on Ben Leguer on what was the last tackle. And that, I think, sums up Bradford's evening here in the south of France. Ben Leguer just being checked by the Toulouse physio. Bradford now trail 6 penalties to 2. And all those Bradford supporters who've already purchased tickets for Salford, those 6 supporters coaches that'll be crossing the Pennines and the M62 corridor on Friday evening. Well, the final 10 minutes of this game, it is going to come down to trying to put some building blocks in place of so Bradford can lay a platform for next week potentially. Well, this will be a heavy defeat here, and it will be the first defeat since Brian Noble accepted the chance to become head coach of the Bradford club for a second time. Second spell for Brian. He has the experience and the know-how to try and turn this performance around for next Friday, but Toulouse with 10 minutes to go. Ashol Bott once again takes the line on. This time he's dumped on the shoulder by Guy Armitage, and it is another penalty as Sam Hallis and James Romanos come together. Well, this game has just exploded here. James Vella has given the penalty against Guy Armitage for dumping Ashol Bott on the shoulder. It's 7 penalties to 2. James Vella will stop the clock. And I think if you're Brian Noble, you are privately seething. Yes, you've lost Eben Skur to that injury close to the day of the game. Tom Holmes went off early in this second half, so you have had to reshuffle and reshape the spine and that forward pack, but Bradford certainly arriving here with a lot of quality and a lot of depth. Jaden Okinbo, George Tafua, Franklin Pelly, Logan Bayliss, Mitch Suter, James Donaldson. Michael Lawrence being spoken to here, as is Anthony Marion, the 2 captains. I don't think we'll see any players leave the field, unlike Sunday gone. It will be a short turnaround for Bradford. They will fly from Carcassonne back into Manchester tomorrow afternoon, but the majority of this Bradford side are part-time, and it is a short turnaround. They will have limited time together this coming week ahead of that big Challenge Cup game, so A 7th penalty awarded for that dangerous tackle, Armitage on Ashelbot. Toulouse are not going to go for 2, considering the strength of the wind. They're just going to run and tap the ball here, which Baptiste Rodriguez does. 3rd appearance of the season. And all of a sudden, the championship will open up because Toulouse will be level on points with Bradford ahead of those round 3 fixtures that take place tomorrow. There's still 9 minutes to go here in the south of France as we see Rob Butler, the former London Wakefield man, brought down 8 metres away, centre field. Out of dummy half here from Baptiste, and look at that from Baptiste Rodriguez. One of those 8 French homegrown players for Toulouse. He will score his first try of the season, and that really does inflict more damage, more pain, more red flags for Brian Noble. It's 34 points to 4. Bradford have absolutely imploded here in the south of France. There's still 9 minutes to go. Well, Baptiste Rodriguez, the young 23-year-old, as we said, he made his debut last year in that round 12 win against Sheffield. That's his 2nd try for the club. His first and only try for Toulouse last season was in a big 58-6 home win against Dewsbury Rams. 34 points to 4, 7 tries to 1. This is now turning into damage limitation for Brian Noble and the Bulls. You've just got to wonder, where has this come from? Was there any inclination that this performance would be so disjointed and flat as Jake Shorrocks adds an extra 2? Toulouse Olympique 36, Bradford Bulls 4. Shorrocks goes out to 4 from 7. Well, Bradford's discipline has evaded them once again. 10 penalties conceded last week, 7 this evening, as Joe Keys gets proceedings back underway. Well, the man of the match here at home has just been given to Ollie Ashelbot. So Ollie Ashelbot given the man of the match here. A try and a number of assists, the 27-year-old former Widnes, London, Salford, Huddersfield man. Well, you've got to hope the injuries to Eben Skirt, Tom Holmes, potentially Kieran Gill. We're not sure why Kieran Gill hasn't featured as well this afternoon. Very, very flat, disappointing. Toulouse on the restart, up to their own 40-metre line. Shorrocks finds Berriton. Berriton, twist, turns, brought down there by Michael and Lawrence on halfway. Last tackle here for Toulouse Olympique. Thomas Lecans kicks into the wind. Lilly, playing full-back in this second half, is caught by Butler and Rodriguez. Baptiste Rodriguez. It was also simple, the try from Baptiste Rodriguez, straight out of dummy half. There was a lot of talk pre-match about this being a vast, wide playing surface that Bradford could exploit, but we've just not seen anything of that quality and nature this evening. So, Toulouse Olympique 36, Bradford Bulls 4. This will be one of those surprise shock wins from the 3rd round of the championship. Franklin Pelly still one of those Bradford wrecking balls, making meters right at the depth here. Hallis out of acting half, now to Donaldson, to Keys, to Meadows. Last tackle, Meadows wrapped up. Keys calls for the ball, Hallis to Keys. High, hanging kick into the wind. Toulouse let that one bounce. Ben Laguerre. Look at that for a kick chase there from Wonga Blake. Well, Wonga Blake there showing Bradford will not give up the fight, will not give up the ghost. They had a half chance, an opportunity when Jaden Ockingbaugh crossed, with 17 minutes to go. They had to score next, but unfortunately they didn't. And since then they've conceded further scores to Asholbot and Rodriguez. It is very, very difficult to name a man of the match this evening. Bradford get the ball from the goal line, drop out. Butler and Rodriguez putting pressure there on James Donaldson. Second spell at the club. Can Bradford finish with something to take into that game? That big mouth-watering Challenge Cup game against Salford on Friday evening. James Donaldson finds the support there of G, and G is wrapped up there in a two-man tackle. Just to the left-hand side of the Toulouse post, 10 metres out. Keys to Pele. It's a little bit one-dimensional and flat from the Bradford Bulls here. We've not seen much second phase play. Keys now to Meadows. Along the line, Bradford will go. Lateral movement. Ball goes to ground behind everybody. Picked up by Ockenbaugh. But Jaden Ockenbaugh wrapped up there on that last tackle. 15 metres out from the line. They're on the fifth and last tackle. Meadows kicks. Looking for Wonga Blake. That one has been taken on the full by Paul Ulberg. Ulberg will tap it. It will be a 6 tackle set for the Bradford Bull, for Toulouse Olympique, apologies. And now Toulouse, they will look to potentially really close out this game. Well, one of the French members of the media press has just reacquainted myself with the team sheet here that blew away due to the wind, and Toulouse 5 inside the Bradford half of the field. Well, it remains to be seen just how much work Brian Noble will say needs to be done to rectify this performance and result, as Toulouse now come down the short side. They kick into the in-goal area, but Jordan Lilly gets there and will take the tackle. 5 out from the in-goal area, as once again Paul Marcon and Matthew Jussamer, they moved it right down this right-hand side and kicked early on tackle number 4, I believe. Well, there's 2.5 minutes to go here at the start at Ernest Wallon, and you can't quite believe the score. It is Toulouse Olympique 36, Bradford Bulls 4. There'll be some fallout from this one, you can imagine. There's a lot to rectify from what we've seen, and Brian Noble will be looking and acting on and wanting a positive response. We've seen a rare kick here in open play from Bradford. Meadows kicking straight down the throat there of Benjamin Laguerre, and he will return the ball 10 shy of halfway. Well, there might have been a lot of singing and dancing in the Melting Pot public house, one of the main public houses in Toulouse, on the main strip where the English supporters come and celebrate, but it'll be very, very sombre this evening. Very, very sombre. Toulouse on halfway here. Butler brought down there by Lawrence and G. There was a lot of expectation going into this game. Marion, Lecans, Laguerre, Ulberg kicks ahead, but Bradford have it, and it's Jordan Lilly and those little legs, as Jordan Lilly shows fight right to the death. He now finds Meadows. Bradford have gone 40 metres there from that kick. Sylvan Houlays will be absolutely delighted and pleased with this performance as he leaves his coaching position and goes down these stairs. Well, we've got a final minute to go here. Bradford well beaten. No, not sure if there's been any illness or injury throughout the camp this week. Certainly be interested to get Brian Noble's thoughts at full time. But with 35 seconds left on the clock, Wonga Blake plays the ball 30 metres out. Meadows now to Donaldson. Donaldson's caught on the shoulder. The post still continuing to shake here. And this will be Bradford's final play the ball in the south of France. Meadows on the last, under pressure from Romanos. Kicks into the in-goal area. Toulouse have lost possession. That's a knock-on, but there's 10 seconds to go. And referee James Vella says that will be a knock-on in the in-goal area. But that will be all she wrote. Full-time hooter sounds here. And it ends in defeat for the Bradford Bulls. They arrived in Toulouse looking for a 6th competitive win in 2025.